Hey everyone, welcome back to 3D6 Down the Line. This is the most criminally underwatched actual play series on the internet. We are in episode 87 of our Halls of Arden Vul Megadungeon Crawl by Richard Barton using a heavily modified version of the old school Essentials system by Necrotic Gnome. I am John, I'm your referee for the evening. Ted is dead to us tonight, but other than that, we have...
Hi, I'm Mike. I'm playing Breggy, the 5th level dwarf.
Hi, I'm David. I'm playing Upior, the 5th level magic user.
And hi everyone, I'm Matt. Tonight I'm playing Wolfhard Cheek. I'm old, and is it pudding night yet?
It's pudding night.
It's pudding night. Oh, good.
Okay, so I've been. We were off for a whole week. The reason we were off for a week is because I was gone. I was picking up a new puppy, and this is Elvis. Say hello, Elvis. He's my good little pup. He is very tired. It is past his bedtime, so I just wanted to get him in front of the screen to start his Hollywood career, going across all social media. But yeah, he's our little guy, and he was well worth the week off. And so anyone who is bitter about that can suck it, because I haven't done it. So that's the deal. But if you're just continuing on with the series after having catching up with everything, you'll have not had the gap of time. So it's all good. All right, so we are starting at the 14th of Gelenios. It is 1:50 p.m. We are starting in media res with the party at Garalad's chambers, having just triggered the Shrieker mushroom alarm and seeing two mushroom humanoid figures kind of come out of there. There's a couple of logistic things that we need to handle before we jump right into what we assume to be combat. And a couple of retcon things that we need to take care of as well. But let me get this dog down real quick, put him to bed, and give me 1 second, and we will be right back as soon as possible. Give me 1 second.
Bye, Elvis.
Okay, we are back. Thanks for being patient as I put Elvis down to bed. All right, let's start it up here. Okay, so first of all, we have Upior, Breggy, Wolford, and our retainers are Sam, Elizabeth, and Trefco. Remind us what Upior and Elizabeth's spell loadouts are.
I have Elizabeth's right here, so I'll go first. She has Fairy Fire prepared twice for her 2 first level spells. She has Cure Light Wounds and Decompose for her 2nd level spell. That's the one that she just finished researching. Her level 2, level 3 spells are Protection from Poison and Growth of Nature. And her 4th level spell is Dispel Magic.
Cool.
Upior's 1st level spells are Marionette and Phantom Armor. 2nd level, Forget and Levitate. And I have not yet slept to memorize a 3rd, but I do have a slot. So that's it.
Okay, cool. And what's the status of the Iron Circlet right now?
Currently on my head.
Okay,
correct.
cool.
You have it in a turban, right?
Oh, we had to take that off because it's not functional with the turban. Remember?
Oh, I didn't remember. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so quick retcon. The guys already know this, but I'm just going to do it for the audience real quick. It's actually, I think, the community members that actually pointed this out. Trefco is with you. Trefco is one of the 4-armed albino baboons, and the biggest event, of course, of last session was that the Well of Light was finally activated. The disco ball was put into place, and it basically reflected across all the entire level, almost, with all those mirrors in the hallways, illuminating the entire place in bright daylight, which caused all of the extant baboons to flee in terror. In addition, Trefco would have also been affected by that. So I'm going to kind of compromise here. We're going to say that going forward, you have a problem with Trefco, but I'm not going to say that he's not with you. But just so you're aware of Trefco's attitude, he hated it. He absolutely hated it, but he understands why the party did it. So it's not like he hates you. He just hates the light. So he from this point onward, he refuses to go into any area with daylight on this level, short of saving his own life, or if he works himself into a blind rage. You actually do get some decent intel on why baboons don't like the daylight from Trefco's attitude. You conclude that it's basically a combination of a biological, just they don't like bright light, combined with a sort of cunning animal superstition, like a little bit above animal intelligence, just sort of superstition that there's bad juju with daylight. So that means that you cannot convince him to wear a blindfold or to use the ring of friendly defense to self-blind, because he would still know in his head that the daylight is present, and he has a superstitious avoidance of it. So if it's going to be, you're going to have to think outside the box for how to get him through there. Okay, but he is still at the entrance to Gerlad's chamber, along with you guys, and that I can't actually remember if. Now, that hallway that you're in, and you're kind of facing southward into the chamber, there is a mirror on the other side of that door to the west that leads into the hallway that leads to Gerlad's chamber. But if that door is closed, then there is no daylight actually kind of shining through there. Understand? Because there's no mirrors in this hallway. There's no mirrors in this corridor. Okay?
So this whole kind of area, like through where Mysophase died and possibly up into the kitchen, we don't know if those doors are also closed. Then this is a
right
nice
now,
dark apartment.
Ted, switching over to Miro here, Ted did a nice job of kind of drawing in the mirrors as we described them way back in the day in purple little rectangles there in the hallways. I think we sort of stopped doing that diligently because there were so many of them. But just so you're aware, on either of the doors in the main north-south corridor leading to the Library of Thoth, on the eastern and western doors, there are mirrors mounted above them, right? So that entire north-south passageway that leads to the Library of Thoth and to the Well of Light, that is completely lit. Okay. But the corridor to the east, which you are in right now, is not lit. Okay. But if that door is open, then daylight is sort of shining through there, but not just as brilliantly as it would normally be in a mirror corridor. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So, but all of you have actually stepped into Gerlad's chamber. He has that small 20-foot section of corridor that leads into his chambers before it sort of opens up into the chamber proper. And let's see here. So again, we have a chamber, old frescoes, soothing pale green base coat of paint on there. Looks like that was added by Gerlad himself to sort of mimic a forest or a natural environment. There's a bunch of botanical and animal themes on there. Looks like a jungle grove, birds, jaguars, monkeys, and things like that. There is a hammock, which is slung from the northeast corner. Wooden stand contains a large drawing of a baboon's anatomy. And there is a small side table that actually has the upper half of a marble statue of a human. Very detailed and realistic. And in the south is the famous mulch pit, where you suspect is some of the PC's lost magical items. And out of that, there is so this is the second part of the retcon sort of thing, because I misdescribed what these creatures were. But the Shrieker is actually a stationary mushroom, right? And it's quite large, larger than man's size. And it's rising out of that mulch pit, basically in the center, has a bright red cap with little white spots on it. And those white spots are like opening like sphincters, and they're like letting out that huge, awful sound, like the wee constantly, right? So you've got that going on right now, like a massive, a really, really loud sound. In addition, crawling out of there were two figures. Now, I described them as huge, like myconid sort of things, but they're not actually. They're quite tiny, actually, relatively. They're big for mushrooms, but they're about 4 feet tall, each of them. And they sort of clamber out, and they have they're much different looking than the Shrieker itself. They're 4 feet tall. They have white caps with little brown mottled spots on them, but you can clearly see that their eyes are not in the stalk, like you kind of picture like a myconid, where like the cap is sort of like its hat. It looks like the cap is actually their head, and there are little eyes that are kind of in the top of the cap, amongst the brown mottled spots. Okay, they have.
They look like Grimace.
No, Grimace looks like a gumdrop. These guys just have like that cap, and then they have like a skinny. They have thin, rubbery legs, pale legs, and their stalks. No joints at all. But they do have arms at their side that are also kind of made out of that fleshy white stalk. So they kind of crawl, and they move sort of aggressively towards you as they sort of crawl out of there. But they're right at the edge of the pit. So they are on the southern end. You guys are right where the corridor opens up into the main chamber, I'm sorry. So you're about 20 feet away from them as they sort of crawl out of there. All right. But the Shrieker is going off non-stop. Okay, so I'm going to say that as you are, if you don't do something about the Shrieker, all of you guys are going to be -2 to hit.
I think we should do something about that Shrieker.
You want me to throw a lightning bolt?
Or do we throw a Trefco?
Oh yeah, Trefco. Yeah, that's a good idea. I think we that's a good plan for him.
Let's throw a Trefco at it. I look up at Trefco and I'd be like, gentle that Shrieker, Trefco.
Okay, so you are not going to run away. You are going to join into combat. Is that correct?
Yeah, let's get him right.
Okay.
We want our stuff back, John. We would like our stuff back, please.
Okay. Declarations first. They're coming after you. What are you doing? What's your declaration? Spells? No spells?
No spells.
Okay. All right. Roll for initiative then.
Who's got it?
I'll do it.
Sorry.
I got a 5.
Oh,
Damn it.
So I got a 4. Okay.
A 4. Okay. So they come crawling out. Let's see their movement. That's pretty much the same as yours. So they, I will just say like you lost initiative because like you're like clasping your hands to your head. You're like, oh Jesus, and they kind of get the jump on you as you're trying to get your weapons out. And they come forward towards you. And they're little dudes. They're about as tall as Breggy. But they come rushing towards you, and it's just weird and off-putting because, like I said, they don't have joints. If you can kind of picture like a pale white mushroom stalk, and they move on legs, but it's just sort of like rubbery, like they kind of like fold rather than are jointed with bones, right? It's very odd. And they don't make any sound, but they come at you with surprising ferocity, waving their club-like mushroom flesh arms at you. Let's see. I'll let you guys determine because I can't really remember what we said at the end of the last episode. Who is a target right now? Be honest.
Breggy is.
Wolfherd would be, and I think
Trefco.
Well, Trefco's going to go for the other guy. Why don't we say like Wolfherd, Lisbeth, and
Sam
Breggy?
probably would have gone forward too at some point. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say there can only be
targets, John.
I'm going to say there's going to be only 2 can be targets because you're all right at the edge of that corridor before it opens up into the chamber. So pick 2 people who I can target.
Breggy and Wolford.
And Wolford, sure.
Got it. Cool. All right, here we go. Let's see. I rolled very low on both D20s, so they come swinging wildly, but you guys are able to bat them off or back away easily, leaving a path for Trefco, I assume.
Yes. So, excuse me. Trefco's going to go trying to silence that Shrieker.
Okay.
So here, I don't know how multi-attacks work, but he has 4 claw attacks. Does he get those if he's moving too?
Oh, yes, he does, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, John. I will try and expedite these attacks by rolling multiple 20-sideds.
Okay, they have AC 14.
Okay. So the first 2 attacks, I got a 9 and a 20. And then, okay. And then the third attack is an 11. And the 4th attack is a 21. So 2 hits.
Yep.
And so does that activate his rending thing then or no?
You tell me. You got the character sheet.
Okay. I don't know. It says a 2 claws hit plus 2d4 rending.
Okay.
So I just didn't know if it needed to be like paired claws or something like that. And then damage is going to be holy for holies, guys. Oh, he also gets a bite. All right. So claws do a d6. That's going to be +7. I don't know how Ted wrote this. I don't understand if it's a d6 +7, or if it's +7 to hit, then it does a d6 of damage.
Okay, give us 1 second. We'll be right back. Okay, we got Trefco stuff ironed out. Go ahead.
Sorry. Okay, so he's going to do 6 points with his claws plus an additional 7 for rending. So that is going to be 11.
11
right?
total.
No, that's going to be 13. Math is hard. And then he also gets a bite attack.
Okay.
And the bite attack is going to hit AC 22 and is going to do an additional 2 points of damage.
So how many total?
So that's 15 points total.
Okay, that does not put the mushroom down. It seems to react violently, it's obvious pain, and you can kind of see some spores like filter down from its mushroom cap as Trefo basically like picks it up bodily and just like tears chunks of flesh out of it. But it is not down. Let's see, the two got it. Okay, I assume it was on the same one, right?
Yeah, all on the Shrieker.
Okay, cool. All right, so Trefco has moved into the chamber. They are sort of in the chamber itself, so you guys are free to move in as well and attack if you like.
All right. Guys, should I? I guess
He's going to attack one of the little guys.
Yeah, I'll attack the other one, one of the little guys too. Okay.
Sam will do the same.
All right. So with the black iron spear, and you said we had a -2 to hit, John?
Correct.
Okay, this will be a +6. So that's a total of a 20 and 2d10 plus 2. Come on. Okay, 4, 5, 6 points of damage.
The same one?
Little guys. To one of the little guys.
They're both little. Are you doing it against the hurt one or the fresh one?
They're both fresh. Trefco attacked the Shrieker.
Oh, he attacked the Shrieker?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Well, give me a second then. Let's see. And you did that much. Okay, so the Shrieker is gone. Sorry.
Okay.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good news.
Okay.
Nice and quiet.
He just rips off. He just rips off the cap and bodily throws it against the wall.
Awesome. So it was less than 6 seconds worth of shrieking. It was not bad.
Yeah.
So that was still the 6 points of damage to one of the little guys. Then
6 points. Okay.
Greggy will attack the same one, John.
Yeah, tries to make a kebab with the black iron spear.
All right. Breggy attacks the same one. I hit AC 23. I actually have a deadly weapon, so let me roll my other 10-sided. Ooh, I got a 9 that time. So they're not Thothites, right?
No.
Okay. Then I do 12 points of damage.
To the same one?
I'm sorry, I lied. 10 points of damage. 10.
To the same one?
Yeah, to the one that he just hit.
Okay. So that was Wolford
16.
and Breggy, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys are ganged up against that one. That's basically all that could basically attack that little guy. All right. So Wolford and Breggy are against one that's pretty badly hurt, but it's flailing around still.
Sam will go and attack the other one then.
Okay.
Sam.
That's a 19 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And 10 damage.
What is this with?
This is with Set's Bane.
Okay, cool. Did you add the appropriate damage bonus? Because I know that's a variable one.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, cool. So they're both still up, but they both look, like they're surprised and hurt. And what did we ever do to wrong you?
Got to feed our Trefco.
Right. So Elizabeth and Upior are hanging back in the corridor. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
I'd actually like Upior to. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I just want Upior to dash over to the west and keep an eye outside that doorway northward with a lightning bolt at the ready in case he sees anyone charging our way. Basically.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, everything is now quiet now. They're just like ringing in your ears from the post-traumatic of the Shrieker. All right, top of the round, declarations. The movement spells.
Just for fun, she will cast a spell this turn. Elizabeth
casting a spell. Okay. Anyone moving out of melee?
Do it.
That'd be Sam, Wolford, and Breggy. No.
You. And Trefco.
And Trefco, yeah. Okay, roll for initiative, please. I
lost last time, so somebody else.
Talk die on
I got
my part. I got a 2.
I got a 5.
Okay, you guys first.
All right. Trefco is going to go ahead and go ahead, Matt.
If Lisbeth can cast her spell first, it will give a bonus because she is casting Fairy Fire, which should light up both of these guys since they're small. As she is a level 6 druid, and size of targets at 5th level, 2 human-sized targets or 1 target up to 10 feet tall can be affected.
Cool.
And, as long as would you characterize it as low light in here?
Yeah, that's probably about right. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that is everybody gets a +2 bonus to hit those 2 mushrooms.
Cool. Those guys are closed.
All right. Yeah. So they are immediately just wreathed in sort of purple. Actually, I guess in OSC it's a lambent green fire, according to my book here. So cool. Actually, it goes perfectly with the aesthetic of the room.
That's why she cast it. She thought it could use a little sprucing up.
Elizabeth with the delicate touch. All right.
Trefco is going to attack the fresh one, right? Did Sam hit last round, David?
Yes.
She did, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So he's attacking the one that Sam hit then. Okay.
Wait, who is? Breggy?
Trefco is attacking the one that Sam attacked.
That's fine. Okay, yeah.
Okay. You said AC 14.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and he's got a +9 now to hit, so that's a hit, and a hit. All right, so rending only happens once per round, though, right?
Correct.
8, 14 plus 4, 18 points of damage, and then a bite.
No need for that one. That'll do it.
Nice.
He just basically shreds that mushroom completely. And you can add that to a nice risotto.
Yes.
Nice.
Delicious in the dungeon.
Wolford's going to try to skewer that other one. Oh, that's a natural 20 on the dice. And that's
With Wolford, what are you using?
He is using the Black Iron Spear.
Okay, yeah, no critical effect on the spear. So okay,
so that's 7, 8, 9 points of damage.
9 points. Great. Okay, that one is barely hanging on. It's like its head is sort of like lolling, but it's just blindly sort of flailing out. Actually, it might. Well, it may. It actually will have to roll a morale. But we still have. Who else we have? Breggy. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Oh, never mind. I rolled a 2 on the die, and even with your fairy fire, that's not enough.
Okay. Sam, unfortunately, is still locked down because they did not declare melee movement. But does anyone want to, Upi or you want to do anything?
I don't see anything to the north, John.
No. Everything seems to be kosher in the hallway.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right. I'll whatever. I'll post up there and just wait just in case until this is fully cleared up.
No problem. So now it's their turn. Its turn actually. It will make a morale check, and I can never remember if it's lower. Lower is good. Yeah. So yeah, it actually does make its morale check. So it does stay and still flail out against Wolford and Breggy. So how many attacks does it get? 1, I believe. Yeah. Now let me just double check here. Hold on. Burp, burp, burp. Yeah, 1 attack. Okay, so 1 to 3 is Breggy. 4 to 6 is Wolford. Geez. Okay, d20s are not rolling. Rolled a 3 there, so not going to happen. So it flails out wildly, and you easily just bat it aside. Wolford, top of the round. Declarations, melee movement spells.
No more spells. I'm staying in melee.
I'm staying in melee.
Great. Initiative, I got a 4.
I won last time. I'll roll again. I got a 6.
Nice.
Second time.
All right, they've only got...
Go ahead, Matt.
Okay. Oh, that's a natural 1. I don't think we're going to hit with the natural 1.
Nope.
All right.
Now, Breggy.
Breggy I got an 8 plus 2 for fairy fire. It's not going to do it. That's going to be a total of 14 or 12.
Tough little guy.
Yeah. He's bobbing. He's weaving. Trefco can't get in on him, right, Matt? Or right, John?
Unfortunately, not. You would have to declare melee movement for one of you guys to move away, but that doesn't mean that they you still have actions if you want to do something. You just can't attack them.
Okay.
In melee.
I'm gonna have Tresco start like digging up the mulch pit. Just like just digging it out.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
Make sure there's no other bad guys in there.
No other bad guys seem to appear. We'll go over what he finds when combat is over, but it looks like my 2 hit point fungal forester still has a round ahead of him. So good for you, buddy.
He's leaving.
Okay. He's got a little bit of hope. He's like, maybe I can get out of this. Okay, 1 to 3 again. That is going to be Breggy this time. Breggy, I rolled a 14.
That's a miss, John. I have AC 17.
All right, no problem. You bank him off with your shield. That's the end of the round. Top of the round declarations.
This little guy is like the one army you have left in risk in like Egypt, who's just like, bring it.
I'll actually declare first, and he's going to do melee movement. He's going to do a full retreat.
Okay. I'm going to stab at him.
I am also going to stay within melee.
Okay, I assume no spells are being cast, so let's roll for initiative. I got a 1.
Oh, I got a 2.
All right.
Nice. Okay, fairy fire lasts for a turn, but so that's yeah.
Okay, so this is one of those rare occasions where we actually get to see this in action. It declared a full retreat, so because you guys won initiative, you guys actually get an additional +2 to attack him.
Oh. Well, John, I rolled a 13 on the die. +2 for fairy fire is 15. +2 for him moving, which is 17.
AC 14.
He got hit, and it's deadly. So let me roll my other 10-sided, and they're both 5s. Regardless, it's going to be 5 + 1, so 6 points.
End of him. Yep. Okay, so it flops to the ground. I will say that one is sort of whole relatively. The one that Trefco got to was basically rended, like drawn and quartered. Yeah. So Trefco, so a turn passes for combat. It is now squarely 2 p.m. And let's see, let me get back to the action here. Right. So what are we doing with light, by the way? I assume it's low light because someone's carrying a torch or a lantern.
Wasn't Trefco was carrying the torch, right? So I think that he would have just like dropped it coming into the room.
Okay, roll me a d6 real quick. A 1, it's out.
I'll do it here. It's a 4.
Okay, cool. So it's on the ground. So you got that light going on, and I actually have that torch marked. So let me just mark 6 when it's going to go out. Got it. Okay, cool. All right. So silence descends. Upior can report back that there doesn't appear to be any threats. He didn't hear any baboons approaching, which is kind of surprising. But you probably assume it's because of the daylight. Right, even with the shrieker, like they're kind of scared. And to be honest, too, like that daylight has only been shining for a matter of minutes, right? So they've just recently been scared off. Okay,
John.
So go ahead.
Similarly, did I hear any movement further to the west in our dead pals' librarian quarters? Anything stirred or responded to noise over there?
In the library beyond the double doors?
Perhaps?
No, he's talking about in the place
yeah, exactly.
Where?
In the secret
where his last character died. That area, right?
Okay. No. I'm saying due west, past the secret door in the librarian's quarters.
Is that where you're standing?
Noise.
All the way over there?
No, I'm standing at the threshold of this hall right here.
Yeah. Then you don't hear anything.
And I was looking north. To make sure, but while standing there, once it got silent, I was curious if we heard anything further west.
No, you don't hear anything there.
No.
Everything's pretty quiet, like unnaturally quiet on this level. Like usually you were always kind of hearing like baboons off in the distance, but it's very quiet now.
Sure. That's good. So John, was Trefco able to get anything out of the mosh pit? There,
let's see.
We're missing a few items.
So it the mulch pit itself, let's let's see. Yeah. Okay. It basically extends. Trefko, he was in the middle of the mulch pit right now. His white coat, basically covered with mulch and dirt right now, is sort of brown spotted. You can see that he's much shorter now. It looks like he's actually down about 10 feet. Okay. And he kind of rests like his two top arms on the lip and basically like puts his head on them. You know what I mean? And looks at you and he says, "Nothing here. Just where mushroom planted. Looks like something was here. Looks like see footprints."
Jerk. We should double check down in there anyway. Wilfredo, not trusting the monkey's judgment, will take the torch and like look down in there carefully.
Yeah, you see. Look. And he points with all four arms in different directions in the mulch pit. And he says, you people, someone rummage around here. Pick stuff up. You see." And he taps you on the shoulder with one hand, Wolford.
David, bring that true seeing in here and see if there's any secret rooms or magic items.
Yeah, well, so I'll proceed to come in and search for anything secret. It is possible. I'll just say that, assuming they're on the level at all. The first time we lost gear to him, it was in the Library of Thoth. You'll recall, locked away. Wasn't it like it was like locked in the desk?
They locked it in like the library.
Our gear might be in there if it's here at all, not in Gerlad's quarters for what it's worth.
Okay.
But I'm gonna come in, John, with the circlet on and look for secret doors.
Nothing appears to be around. No secret doors.
All right. Well, we'll go check over in his hammock. Is there anything like in his personal space, Gerlad's personal space?
Nope, afraid not.
So he cleaned out, or somebody cleaned him out.
There's a statue of a human in here.
Yeah, so there's a small side table.
Is that correct? That was in the notes.
There's a small side table that has the upper half of a marble statue of a human. It's extremely realistic.
Anyone we recognize?
Yeah, it doesn't look like Brisket's Poultry.
No, it does
I'd
not
like
look
to
like
take a really close look at that and see if the head. Oh, sorry. I'd like to take a close look at it and see if the head lifts up and there's a button inside. Just do it. Just see if it's fixed to the table, or if I can lift it off of it. Just closely inspect it. And yeah, I mean, to the point of the Priscus Vulture thing, do my best to see if I recognize who it might be.
You know what? Actually, I lied. It is not. It is not there. Sorry.
Oh, the statue?
No.
Okay. So, drawing of the monkey. We got to take something of his. Maybe that was his favorite drawing.
Also gone. Sorry.
Damn it, John! You take away.
Yeah.
You give, but you take away.
Okay, so it sounds like to me, Gerlad might have picked up shot and left rather than died.
Or his space was looted. Yeah, one of the two.
Or looted, yeah. I just don't know if the baboons are still intact. I'm doubtful that they would have looted it. I mean, maybe Cisco did. We have to go look at that corpse in the north if that's the case. But
it wasn't in disarray, though, guys. So it feels like he left.
Yeah,
like literally, maybe he was just like, I'm so sick of these AV assholes, and they've looted the library, and what am I doing here? And I'm going to go home and spend Christmas with the family. So,
All right. So, question then: do we want to? Because I don't know about you guys, I still feel like there is an immediate clock ticking with the Goblin King, right? Like, we get several clues. He does not want to be kept waiting. He was on his way up. We don't want to keep him waiting. However, one thing that we know is just like super important is, if there's any way to keep that disco ball lit once we leave, once the daylight passes, it's just going to go dark again. And, one of our theories that we talked about was the possibly doing the litany of light around the 4 stations, 2 of which we're presuming are there, might make that a permanent fixture. Do we want to run and start to do that now?
Yeah.
Right?
That makes total sense. Yeah.
Right? Like go kind of explore to the east and see what all 4 are and then start doing our way around?
Yeah. I think that makes sense. I don't know that it's necessarily going to create like a full-time light effect. It also feels like when we were rereading them earlier, it almost feels like you're doing the steps, but the last one ends the ritual, right? So like it pulls everything back when it's like about like, only the secrets for, the worshipers of Thoth. And there, I don't know, but let's try it. Let's see what happens.
Do it.
Go ahead.
I was just to say, do we want to peek in the room to the 16 just to make sure Gerled's not like hiding in there?
I mean, I think it behooves us to peek into all of the those real quick because we're here, right?
Yeah. We've got to be careful because monkeys could be hiding in there.
Yes.
The light doesn't go there.
Well, we know for a fact that there's a mirror above the western door here, and if we leave it open, light will come to the hallway.
Okay.
Right.
So we could close
opening
the
those
door.
doors. We can assume they won't enter the hallway. We can at least gander from, right?
Okay.
You want to try that? Open the 16th
let's
door.
do that.
So we can close, leave Trefco in room 15. We'll give him some scritches.
Yeah.
Like we left him lots of mushroom to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Tell him we're going to come back. And guys, I think we can use the rugs once we get the rugs to teleport him out of there. So we're going to tell him that's the plan, right? So good boy, you're not going to stay here forever. Just wait. We're gonna take care of it. And let's go open that door and peek in the other rooms and see what's going on.
Okay,
Cool.
so did you say that you're going to open
I'm gonna
the
open
western
door
door?
to 16 then. Yes.
Yeah,
Eastern.
so we'll close the door to 15 Gerlad's chambers, and we'll open that door to what's on the eastern side.
Well, the eastern one is where we're going to look, but the west one's already open because that's where Upira was, John. So now there's light coming into that hallway.
Got it. Okay. Cool. All right. A turn passes by from searching Gerlad's chamber. Now 210. You have 1 turn left on Trefco's torch. Who is taking Trefco's torch?
So I'll take it.
Okay.
John, what time did we get word about the Goblin King? How long ago was that?
I don't have the exact thing, but I'm going to say I don't know. Why?
Well, we don't want to keep him
about
waiting
2
too
hours.
long.
About 2 hours. We'll call it 2 hours.
That's fair. We just want to ballpark how long we're keeping the king waiting.
Yeah, I don't think 2 hours is something to be too scared of right now. Okay, cool.
Let's see. It was about 10. I'm looking here. About 10:20. It said was when we were fighting zombies and stuff. So 10:30. Around then, when we were running around in the Beastman zone. So probably 10:45, 11 when we went through the debouchement and told Bottleneck again, that we're coming to have him wait.
So we heard about 11 is when they told us the king was coming. Then it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to enter the chamber to the east. Is that correct?
Cool.
16.
Okay, let's open the door to 16.
Okay, so that door opens easily, and it doesn't look like it's been entered in some time, not like ancient times, but just not very recently. And there's a 20-foot corridor before it opens up into it looks like you've been here before. I can't remember exactly the circumstances, but you recognize it. It looks like it was likely Isocritus's chambers, or where he actually resided whenever he was working here. So it looks at judging by what you knew about Isocritus, it probably at one time was kept very, very neat, but it looks like it was ransacked in the very recent past. There's a simple wooden cot that has been kind of tipped over. There's a brazier that's also tipped over. A water barrel that's still intact, and the simple wooden chest. That chest has been opened, and some of the contents look to have been spilled out onto the floor. One of them is a cherry box that is filled with pens and nibs and materials for ink, which could definitely count as magical laboratory equipment. You know what I mean? In one way, shape, or form. If any of you, not looking at anyone in particular, may be thinking about that in the future, that would be good to have. There is a pouch actually that is filled with there is a pouch that is filled with a lot of different spell components. They don't really list them out, but you could those would also be useful in a laboratory. And there's another pouch that looks like it probably contained coins, but those coins are gone. And there's the walls of the chamber have faded frescoes of abstract geometric shapes, no actual like Thothian depictions or at all. So that's the deal in that room. You don't see any sort of footprints or anything like that. So pretty much in the state that you remember seeing it the last time.
Well, what does the crown see? Does the crown see any secrets?
The crown does not see any secrets. So,
all right.
So it seems to be pretty empty. This is actually the point where this is actually the point where we should be taking our first break. So let's cut out for a minute, and we will be right back. Okay, we're back. Bladder's empty, beer's full. All right. So you're thinking about assuming that you don't want to do anything further in Isocritus' chamber after discovering that there is nothing secret in there. You were talking about going through the northern door. You have been in there before as well. That is where you found what appears to have been one of the giant baboons' living quarters. This was where you found like the Toke's hat, the special carving knife, a couple of the Illusionist spellbook, actually the very first Illusionist spellbook. Lots of stuff, but other than that cool treasure, there was only like a straw pallet in there the last time you were there. Now I only highlight that because you also noted when you were there that there was no mirrors in this room,
right?
And the door is shut.
So it could be a place like Erskine is the other one that we know about, right?
Right.
It could he could be in there. Like he could be trapped by these lights. We don't know.
Which is why I'm saying we don't open the door and walk in. We treat the open door as a viewing portal, right?
Oh, so we just peek.
Because the hallway we're in is flooded with light because the hallway has a mirror reflected into it.
Okay. So let's just peek and
we can open and look, basically, right?
See how much monkey there is.
Yeah.
Wolfhard will do it. I'll open the damn door and take a peek.
I'll brace my pole arm, John, so that I'm ready for anything that charges at us.
Okay. So so who's opening the door?
Wolfhard.
Wolfhard. Okay. So Wolfhard, you open up the door just a creak, and as you do so, you can see that there's well, actually, do you have light?
He's got Trefko's torch.
Who's got
the torch and the daylight in the hallway? I don't know how much that spills in.
Okay, true. Okay, so between the torch and the daylight, it opens up. It illuminates some of that chamber. Okay, what you can see at the far end of it, just slightly lit by the crack that you've opened up the doorway a little bit, is the looming form of Irsko, the giant intelligent baboon, and he's back against the wall, and you actually can see that there's fear in his eyes, and his how baboons, when they pull back their lips, it's actually fucking terrifying. It's like that, but it's out of like a rictus of fear, basically. Okay, and he's looking at you, and as you open the door, you can see his eyes flick up above the lintel of the door on his side of the room, and then 3 regular baboons drop down from on a height and attempt to snag you and drag you into the room, Wolfhard. Okay. So you're going to roll for surprise for me. So don't roll a 1 or a 2.
Okay. I rolled a 5.
Fantastic. Okay. So you catch that movement of his eyes just in time, and you pull back, and I assume you bring the door with you.
Yep, slam that door.
Yeah, and then you bad room. The last thing you see is just some like white fur, but basically like descend from over top the lintel, and then you're like slam, and then you hear
hold on.
Go ahead, David.
Why would we slam the door? They're not going to enter into the hallway. I could fire lightning bolts at him from here. Now he might eventually get over his fear of the light, but we have an advantage with the door open that they don't have.
Yeah. Open it up again.
In other words, we can take 10 feet back and they're not. And they'd have to like enter the light and experience that, would they not?
All right.
Yeah.
Well, at least this way we can have
It's a
that
thought.
set up.
Have a
We can
plan.
have that set up.
Well,
All right.
let's. I'm fine to engage with them, or do we want to do Litany of Light, or Litany of Light and then come back and engage with them? I don't know.
Because we could also just seal these doors up. Because I mean, engaging with these guys, like knowingly, willfully engaging with them. Yeah, we can line them up with a lightning bolt. They've taken, we know that they took at least the frost wand before, and we're okay.
100%. The issue is we're leaving Trefco. No, we wrecked them pretty bad, but we're leaving Trefco behind. And until we know the outcome and the timeline of the litany and whether they have the possibility in our absence to intercede, I don't know if we want Trefco to be sitting in that room when Irshko and all the baboons go fuck Trefco, right?
Mm.
Then we lose Trefco, right? Like, so it's in other words, like we don't have to engage with them, but we're at our maximum leverage point right now. Is my point. Now,
Right.
whether we fight them or not, we could also go Irshko, where the fuck is Geralad, and interrogate him and try to talk to him. I mean, there's a possibility here because he's backed against the wall.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just it's a thought.
Does anyone have a mirror where we can shine more light into that room?
Here's the thing. I was thinking about doing exactly that. There are 2 mirrors to the west. One is affixed over the easternmost door right here, right? It sounded like from John's description.
Yes.
Yeah, we could take that. We could dismount that temporarily and carry it with us in here.
I will say that John has always made it very clear those mirrors do not come off the wall. Like,
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Wolford
on my part.
says, you mean a mirror like this one? And he reaches into the bag and pulls out a little hand mirror.
how big a mirror can you get?
I do have a hand mirror already. Yeah.
So we got like a little laser beam then.
Can we use some twine and dangle those mirrors from the ceiling so that they shine light from the hallway directly at the door?
I don't. Are you doing that? I don't.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm going to ask you. I'm asking if that's possible.
it'll take time. Do you want to try to do it?
Yeah, let's try.
Okay, it takes a turn. Trefco's the torch that was Trefco's now is held by one of you. Goes out.
Okay.
Before we open the door, we'll light another one before we open.
Who's carrying it?
I have a two-handed weapon, Matt. I just realized I have a two-handed weapon. So
Lisbeth can hold it.
Okay, mark it off. When you do the twine thing and you kind of hang a hand mirror, first of all, it's on twine, so it basically spins. It's almost impossible to hold it stationary unless one of you actually is holding it stationary. When you hold it and you try to focus the beam of the light, it reflects, but it doesn't reflect. It doesn't amplify. It doesn't amplify the daylight to those stunning levels like the mirrors do, and basically confirms to you that the mirrors have some sort of magical effect on them as well.
Okay. All right. So how do we want to do this? We got to be in. If you want to fire off a lightning bolt, I don't want to be in front of it. But
well, truth be told, what I actually want to do is see if Irska will talk, and if he won't, cast Mass Charm on him and all his buddies, and failing that, cast a lightning bolt. But my point was, like, the light is for lack of a better word, a wall of fire, right? As long as we keep our distance from the threshold from them snagging us. Now, Sam has the golden net. The other thing we could do is take a couple stakes and net around the frame of the door before we open it, so they literally can't enter.
So by the time you went your little twine mirror thing, the screeching of the baboons that you could continue to hear through that door quickly fade away. You would say in about a span of about 15 seconds from the moment that you close that door, the screeching stops, and not in a fading way. It's not like you hear them sort of moving; they just sort of stop.
they shushed.
Okay, so here's the thing. Why don't we have the golden net staked in to 4 corners of the doorway, just in case? Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah, I don't. I'm going to check the golden net. I don't know if you cast lightning bolt through it, it might damage the golden net.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't cast it through there. Obviously, that's a different situation.
Okay. Oh, so you
I
just
think
want to do that to safely talk to them. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, look, this might be getting too convoluted. I think it's perfectly fine to, I think it's not perfectly fine, but I think it is feasible that we can open it, try to discuss, failing diplomacy, cast mass charm.
Yeah.
I get 10 HD, right? And we know of a certainty of one giant and two small, right?
Right.
Probably.
You want to try?
All right. Okay. So do you want to prepare? Who's gonna talk to the damn monkey?
I mean, I will.
I'll talk to him. I don't care. Or
Talk to him,
Dave.
yeah, Mike, you talk to him.
Okay.
All right. So, Wolford, knowing of the likelihood of an ambush there, he's going to, if everybody's in position, he's going to ready himself, push the door open with one hand, and then back up with his spear at the ready, braced in case they charge out.
All right, cool. So you push open the door with your spear. Light shines through from Elizabeth's torch and illuminates a chamber that is redolent with the after smell of what appears to have been a small chamber that was filled with baboons. And there is that door on the eastern wall, which you can literally see it. It's actually like swinging open, like it's in movement and open. You know, like that was too much dramatic effect. The door is open. Let's put it that way.
Okay. They left.
Yeah.
Okay, but hold on. Sorry, I'm not trying to be annoying. That hall is directly connected with the mirrored corridor, so that would be flooded with light.
They went into the kitchen.
The eastern, not the western. Oh, the eastern. Okay, that's good. Okay, that's great. I'm sorry, I'm getting confused. Perfect. All right, so they fled back into the kitchen. Right.
Now there, we will not have any kind of a light.
Yeah, we have no light there.
So I'm going to call out and I'm going to say, Ersko, we don't want to fight you. We just want to ask what do they refer to him as? Father? Guys?
Just call him Garrelad.
Okay. I'll say, Ersko, we're not here to fight you. We're here to find Garrelad and ask for his assistance in something. Where is he?
You hear nothing.
I was sure that was going to work.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to tell you where he is.
I said it so forcefully, too.
You're very convincing. Very, very good.
Okay.
I don't want to go fight these monkeys in the dark.
I don't want to go in there. I'm not going into that dark room with no exit. Yeah. Let's go do the litany of light, boys.
Should we spike this door?
Yeah.
Possibly. Just while we're looking through the door, does the circlet spot any secrets in room 14, John?
No secrets.
Okay.
Look, we shut this door and we spike it. And as we're shutting the door, I'm like, all right, Ersko, you're going to be trapped in here with surrounded by light and no one's going to help you.
Okay, so the door to the south is spiked. Mark off a spike or how many you want to put in there.
I have a plethora of spikes.
I have
a
bunch too.
Let's spike it with 4 spikes.
Okay. Mark them
Nice.
off. Cool. All right. I don't think that that wouldn't have taken that long of a. So you're still, same terms still.
All right. Let's go do the litany of light. I'm really curious to see what happens, guys.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
There was absolutely no telegraphing last session about doing the litany of light.
So you're going to move at exploration speed, like cautiously still, even though you're going through known corridors. Okay, cool. So you back your way out. As you enter into the main north-south corridor that leads directly to the Well of Light, you are once again inundated with full daylight. Like if it wasn't for the fact that you were surrounded by stone, you literally would think you were walking under like a bright summer sky. It's actually quite pleasing. You could feel the radiance and holiness of Thoth infuse your very soul. Thankfully, there's no particularly religious people here except for Elizabeth. Okay, so you tell me what you do. So you walk back up the corridor. You have your choice there of going directly north of the Well of Light or possibly to the northwest or northeast.
Why don't we go to that northeast so we can look down the hallway and make sure we know where those monkeys went and what would be involved in sealing them off? What do you guys say?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So so there are mirrors. So as you could probably anticipate, the corridor here is symmetrical with its opposing corridor, across the way. So you can kind of draw that in. and it connects up with the main east-west passageway from the Well of Light as well. And there are 3 mirrors along this this passageway as well that mirror the exact literally mirror the same mirrors on the the opposite side. So you can write those in as well. So you can see that because there is a mirror on the southeastern wall directly across from the corridor that leads into one of the stations, it illuminates that station fully. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, it reflects like directly. It was obviously placed there to actually illuminate that little station. Each one of the stations has that.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. You're technically haven't moved into that northeastern one, but you can probably safely assume that filling in that map is probably correct. Although next time you jump the gun like that, I'll make you pay for it.
Ooh. Scary.
All right. So, John, when we get to that hallway that goes to the east towards the Howling Caves, what do we see?
Okay, yeah. So, so you're gonna bypass the station. Is that correct? You're not even gonna look in there. You're just gonna go right to the east.
We want to
corner.
look in there for sure.
Yeah, we'll look. Yeah, see what it says.
All right. Okay, so you want to stop it. All right. Let's see. That is that number. One moment, please. Okay. So you may not remember exactly how these kind of places are kind of set up, but this one has the 2 stone benches that face the northwest wall. There is a yellow marble circle, which you've seen in the other 2 stations that you've been in already, that stands right before that wall. And the images on the northwest wall show robed figures genuflecting towards an enormous ibis. And some are bowing, some are completely prostrate on the ground, but all are displaying reverence towards the rays that emit from the ibis. And the background behind the ibis is silver. And across the top of the image is a Mithric inscription that says, "Let the faithful render honor and glory to the light which reveals all." And that's what that station is. So, there's little stone benches for doing your little thing, and there's that yellow circle. And so the stone benches in the yellow circle are exactly the same in each one of those 3 stations that you've been in so far, but the depiction on the back wall has been different for each one. And the Mithric inscription has been different for each one as well. Okay. So, assuming you don't do anything in there right now and you continue on to the eastern quarter, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So doing that and looking eastward, you can see that it has a sequence of mirrors. So right at the juncture, there is an actual big mirror, like right in the middle of the corridor, just like the other 3 that you've passed. And then there are mirrors that are facing each other at 10-foot junctures, more or less, all the way down that corridor. And because it's brightly lit, you can clearly see that it goes for 50 feet
Ooh.
to the east before opening up into a square chamber that you probably, because it is 50 feet down, I don't think that you're going to quite be able to make out the dimensions, but you can clearly see in the middle of that chamber, about 20 feet in to the chamber, is a thing that I have to look up. Give me a second. Let's see. There is a 10-foot tall statue of a springing baboon with clenched fists and forearms raised above its head. Okay, and it's standing atop a 10-foot diameter circular plinth. Yeah, and there appear to be frescoes on the walls. You can't quite make them out, though, because of the distance you're at. Yeah, so that's that.
Cool.
And we can't tell the lighting situation of that room from where we are, right?
Yeah, you can tell that it is fully lit.
Okay.
Like it appears that there's likely, although you can't see them, there are likely more mirrors in there because it's not just the remnants of the light coming from the eastern corridor shining in.
Yeah.
It's like it's fully lit. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Guys, I think we should peek into that room.
Yeah.
Right? We got to know where they're going to come from, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So you go carefully towards the east. Now you can, the moment that you kind of step into the eastern corridor, you can see that right at about 5 feet in, so halfway through, halfway in into that first square, there is actually a narrow corridor that goes directly south. It's a 5-foot wide corridor. It is not lit, but it is, remnant lit by the existing light.
No door, just an open corridor.
An open corridor, yeah. I would say that the light is strong enough in the east-west corridor to sort of illuminate that it goes for 20 feet before ending in a small door.
All right.
It does appear to be relatively well-traveled. Like you haven't uncovered a secret or anything like that, and it's not too far off the beaten path. But it's just the only strangeness is that it's just kind of relatively narrow compared to the grand, massive corridors that you've been stalking down.
Yeah,
it probably bridges back down to the kitchen area and stuff like that. Is my guess.
Yeah, we've seen one before.
Well, why don't we go down and take a listen at it?
At the little door.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, just continue a reminder, John. The circuit's still on, so secret doors, etc. As we're traversing.
Yep, got it. I forgot to keep time here, so I'm going to say that it did take a turn to get to this point. Also, a turn to sort of check into the one station there. Yeah. Okay. So okay, and you move down to that corridor, and Oop, you're giving it a listen. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Roll.
It's a 2. I think. What is my listen at doors?
Probably a 1, unless you have some sort of special ability.
2 and 6. 2 and 6.
You have a 2 and 6?
Yeah.
Why?
Good for you.
I don't know why. I can't remember why it's on my sheet.
Magic is.
I'll give it to you this time, but
I can go look in the rule book real quick.
You should verify that there must be a magical item or something that gives you that. Otherwise, your default 1 and 6.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So
took a turn to listen. And do you hear anything? I don't know. Let's see. No, you do not hear anything.
I'm gonna crack it open and look through.
Okay, cracking it open and looking through, you see that it opens up into a large chamber that appears to be. It's kind of oddly shaped. Let's see. Let's look at your map there and let's see what you got. Yeah, I see what Ted did there. Okay, so for all intents and purposes, so we don't waste time getting the exact definitions of this thing, it is it connects to what Ted's drawing is there, basically straight down on the eastern wall. And then it is a 35-foot wide east to west, which does align with what Ted drew there. Chamber.
Oh wait. Oh, I'm confused. Wait,
So
is there an additional chamber north of the one that Ted drew, or is it does the corridor continue past the door at 20
I actually don't know why
feet,
Ted had that
20 feet
northern
beyond?
wall there, because that northern wall that Ted drew is not there.
Okay, well, I'll take it out then. How about that? And then I'll just bridge it up.
Can't speak ill of the dead.
Oh, you know what I think it was, if I remember correctly, is that they that you looked through that two-way fireplace, and that was like the extent of what you were able to see, if I kind of remember correctly.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Now, David, if you want to be super accurate, you're almost, don't draw it yet. If you just draw a trapezoidal line from those two points, that's the actual sort of dimensions that we're looking at.
Yeah. So here,
Not a trapezoid. I'm sorry. A diagonal line. Yes.
that wasn't some. There we go. A little bit better, maybe.
Yep.
Aesthetically,
A
something like that.
little too excited about that.
Yeah. So that's great. Yeah. So there's no one in the room. It's pretty obvious at this point. You've got that narrow chimney, right? The two-way fireplace. The fireplace is dead right now. There is one badly scarred and uneven table with a scorched bench near the left-hand side. There are clear baboon tracks that are basically running from the northeast to the southwest. On the table is like an upturned flagon of ale and like a lone turnip. The fireplace has some wood in it, fresh wood, and that appears to be. It looks likely that this was, prior to the prior to Garland and the baboons being here, this is likely like a refectory for the priests. You know, like this is kind of like wherever they would eat. You know, this is where they chill out.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just real quick, I'm gonna dash and make sure I open this door as quickly as I can, so that we have light coming in from both sides before
Okay.
anything goes
Sure.
on.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
okay with you guys?
Yeah. So I
just
would
wanna,
say with
leave the doors open.
yeah, that's cool.
David,
So
do you want to not send the squishy wizard to go do that and send one of us?
It's fine. I'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
it is fine. You open them up and the light kind of comes in from both directions, but it doesn't illuminate the whole place. There's sort of like a spot in the center that's sort of like still relatively dark, but definitely enough to see by. Also, this I remember this was from Ted's, just from me sort of overriding what Ted had already drawn, but like that little section of right angle in the southeast corner there is not really there, right? It's you know. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fireplace pass through.
Well done. Yes. Also remember, just again, this is all kind of coming back to me from when you actually ventured the first time, that you did discover from looking through that fireplace that there is an active chimney that goes up.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Try to get those guys to go up it.
That's right. They
I
did
have
go up.
levitate boots. I have levitate boots. Is there any light coming through the chimney?
Yes, I guess. Yeah. If you look up there, there is a little bit of light. Yeah. Now it's very, very claustrophobic, right? It's, you know, there's no friggin' way that I would say that Upior. Yeah, I would say that probably Breggy couldn't make it up there because he's a wide-bodied dwarf. Trefko definitely couldn't. Everyone else probably could.
You could go up the well of light, though, David.
Yeah, I know. There's just all the mirrors in it too. So it's just something to. I was just curious about the chimney. How tall is it, John?
Like
Oh, it goes up. It
Hundreds
goes
of feet,
way,
right?
way up.
Yeah, that's what up. Well, perhaps not right now, but I'd be curious to have the circlet on going up and down that chimney and see if I see any shit on the way. But that could be for another day. You know?
Okay.
To be clear,
that's
too,
right.
Giant baboon.
Yeah.
it looks like you don't necessarily need magic to get up there because it's so narrow that you could do that thing where you have your back against one wall and your feet against the other, and you could sort of like shimmy your way up. It'd be like a long, super arduous climb, but it could possibly be done.
Well, and the reason, Mike and Matt, that thought occurs to me, not just for like secret doors, but it's plausible there are other, like, thinking of the Matrix, there are other floors that we could access through this chimney, right? And so I'd be very curious to try that at some point. But
maybe after we murder those other monkeys.
Yeah, for sure. All right, cool. John, nothing pings in the room, secrets from the otherwise?
Okay, so when you get close, or when you're crawling into the fireplace, right? And then you're like, okay, that's interesting. And you kind of crawl back out and you're like, okay, let me focus on this circlet. And you look around and directly to your right, which is on the eastern wall, about 5 feet up from the fireplace, there is a secret door. Okay. And I forgot the iron circlet doesn't tell you the means. It just shows you that there's the presence of a secret door on that eastern wall. And I should also say too that when you got closer to the fireplace, not necessarily when you entered the room from the north, but when you got closer to the fireplace, you could definitely smell baboon.
So Urs goes in there with his buddies.
Yeah, it's right on the other side of that fireplace, man.
Where I put it is correct, on the eastern?
You got it. Yep, perfect. Mm-hmm.
Okay. But we know for certain he's at least maybe in the kitchen. We don't know if he's in the secret chamber, right?
No, I don't think he's in the. I don't think he's in the secret chamber. I think
They're in the kitchen, my dude.
Which means
they're in the kitchen.
You're an arm grab away from getting like monkeyed.
Well, no.
If I go into the kitchen, yeah.
To be clear, Upior, you were crawling into that fireplace to look up the chimney. So remember that fireplace is two-way; it leads directly into the kitchen. So if there were baboons in there, they would have heard and seen you, and you didn't hear or see them.
Back out, my dude. You're the one who can read Mithric.
And that's also where Ted had written. Sorry, David. Just to make it clear, I'm sorry, it's a complicated room. Where Ted had written those two red bars there on the southern wall, that's an open passageway, so there is no actual line connecting there.
Okay, this is all information I should have known before running in here.
I should have.
No, that's not your fault.
Yeah.
I just couldn't remember. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to fix that real quick.
No one tell Ted that we're cleaning up his obvious glaring mistakes.
Yeah.
What a God, is this guy ever,
You ask a guy to map professionally, and you get this shoddy work.
All right, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna square this off because it's a chimney and put like a C in there.
Chimney?
So
You say
chimney.
chimney?
A chimney.
It's a chimney.
Chimney cricket.
chimney.
There we go. All right. So is that somewhat correct, John?
Yes, that is exactly correct.
Okay. Well, I gotta open the secret door, right, guys?
No,
my
don't
monkeys.
keep it
Don't get
Wait,
eaten by
that's what I'm.
monkeys.
No, but that's what I'm asking. Okay. This is the. So I did not get grabbed in the kitchen, which means the monkeys are in the secret room.
No.
is what you guys-
I think you were just lucky. I think they're gonna come through that open hallway.
No,
right
no.
there.
John
and
said that they would have seen and heard him when he's crawling around in the fireplace.
That's correct.
So that
So they're
means
in the secret room.
they either went north while we were exploring the well of light area or the litany of light area. They rabbited up and they went out through the big giant baboon room where there's an awful lot of light in there, or they're right on the other side of that secret door.
They're probably. Can I listen at the secret door, or does anyone have a better listen? Since I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be 1 or 2 and 2 and 6.
I
Why
think
don't y'all do
dwarves have it. I think
Yeah, why don't
dwarves
you do it?
have 6. Let me look here real quick. Yep,
Interesting.
I got 2 and 6.
Cool.
I'll listen.
Okay, takes a turn. Go ahead and roll.
I got a 2.
That's a C's for you, right?
Yes.
Okay. Way off in the distance, at the very edge of your hearing, so definitely like not just through the secret door. And again, remember, Breggy, that you have no indication of where that secret door is. It's like literally Upuar pointing, like it's right there, and you can't see it. Okay. You can hear. You would probably say, you know what? I'll give this to you, Breggy, because you're a dwarf. You know how sound moves through stone, right? So how it echoes and all that kind of stuff. So I would say probably anywhere between 60 and 80 feet away to the east, you can barely hear the chittering and chattering of baboons.
Awesome.
Okay, so here's just for due diligence. I opened this eastern door.
Yes.
I'm going to also open this eastern door.
Okay.
Right, and I'm going to go ahead and open the door between the illusionist room and the kitchen. I just want all the doors to be open.
That's going to take a turn. Is that okay with you?
Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah, that's fine. But let's pick up the pace here because we got to do this litany of light before the sun goes down.
I think we're done in here for now. I just for the sake of it, I know light's not going to spill in all those places, but I think it would behoove us to have those doors be open.
Got it.
Right.
Okay.
And then we can go back north and continue to the eastern corridor where we were going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for your
so
patience.
yeah, you go back out the
Wait,
refectory.
fuck. No, sorry. Should we fucking stake this secret door or do something to blockade it and trap them in?
I think probably staking that secret door is probably a good idea.
Is it?
So
Yeah.
So Upior, you only know that they're the presence of a secret door. You still have to
You don't
spend
know
the
how to
time
open
to.
it, so you don't know how to stake it.
Yeah.
Mm.
So you know it's there, Upior. So all you have to do is
Yeah.
I look for how to open it, and it'll just take like a turn to do so. But you literally just kind of know there's one there. You have no idea like what shape it takes or anything like that.
Yeah. I don't know, guys. I can wait on it for now. I mean, it might be an opportunity to trap them, but I don't know that we could. Just because I know the mechanism of the door doesn't mean I can keep it from functioning.
Also, I mean, there's no a simple door might not stop Erskine.
Yeah, fair.
Right.
Okay. All right. We can move on for now then.
Okay, so you note the secret door, but then you move back through the narrow corridor that connects the refectory to the main corridor, and you're focusing towards the litany, towards the stations, or towards the east.
We just want to look and see what's
Look
there.
and see what's on the east.
Okay, so I already told you what you see. Are you moving there now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to move in so we can see the shape of that room.
Very good. We're moving at 90. I'm just been assuming this so far. Is that probably correct?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I'm at 120, but I'm assuming someone else isn't.
Wolford and Elizabeth are both at 120.
Really?
Is Breggy at 120?
No.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you move carefully, David. There is a mirror on the other side, on the southern end, mirroring the other two. You know what I mean? Like it's on either side of the hallway. There are mirrors. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So you drew them on the
are
north
you just
side.
saying
There are
it's
also
symmetrical like this. Yeah,
there you go. Here you go.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so you get to the eastern end. It opens up into a perfectly square corridor, a perfectly square chamber that is 30 feet by 30 feet. You are entering in directly into the middle of the western wall. There is a 5-foot wide corridor that leads directly south, 10 feet in from the western wall, and there is a door on the northern wall in the northwestern corner. Okay, that's the basic dimensions, but let me give you the description here. So in the center, there's that 10-foot tall statue. Strange statue, right? Like it's not the typical Thothian sort of thing, although baboons are sacred to Thoth. It's of a springing baboon. Usually you see the baboons in repose or in some sort of like abstract sort of, at rest basically thing. This is a baboon in action, right? It's a springing baboon with clenched fists and forearms raised above its head. The chamber itself is 20 feet high. The statue's on 10-foot diameter plinth. And there are mirrors in the four corners, the exact four corners that are, obviously just, bright light. The frescoes on the walls that you can now determine when you kind of look in show humans and baboons working together to smash a variety of enemies, including other humans, crocodiles, which are sacred to Set, and bipedal amphibians.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
On the door to the north, there is a large human ear painted on the door. Okay. The room reeks of baboons.
Gross.
Okay.
Does that hallway to the south, John, smell stronger of baboon? Like, is it funky? I'm trying to figure out where they're coming and going from. Like, I mean, I guess they're just everywhere.
Yeah, you can't really determine like strength of smell, but it definitely smells like baboons were recently in here.
You want to take a peek in that hallway? Walk over there?
Yeah, I do. What time is it though, John? I don't want to get caught down here at sundown.
It is now 3:20.
Ooh.
I would say that the light has, generally has, ever so slightly dimmed. It's still unbelievably bright, but you can definitely tell that the sun is moving across the sky.
Okay.
Guys, why don't we just peek down that hallway and then go do our litany?
Yeah. And then do we retrieve the disco ball and just rug it out of here or what? Because if we leave it come nighttime, they're going to come in and destroy it.
Well,
we got to figure out.
Let's see what happens when we do the litany.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to look down the southern corridor?
Yep.
Okay, so you're not moving into it, but looking down the southern corridor, the first thing you notice is that it's only lit a certain amount by the prevalent light in the room. It is obvious that this narrow corridor does not have mirrors. Okay, and so I'll give it to you for the length of your radius of your torch, for 30 feet. So it's definitely a 5-foot wide corridor that goes at least 30 feet and continues on from there. But after 20 feet, there are two doors, one on the eastern wall, one on the western wall, directly across from each other. Okay. It does smell like baboons. Both those doors appear to be shut. And they're typical Arcantian doors, a little bit smaller than usual. So that's the key. That's the case.
Right.
Just after 20 feet, David, for those doors.
Oh, sorry.
Just after, on the other side of the line, basically. Okay. So after kind of noting that, I'll let you guys decide what you would like to do. But we're going to take our second and last break, and we will be right back. Okay, we are back. Bladders empty, beers full. Okay, so you've peered into that southern narrow corridor. You are in the room with the rearing baboon statue and the strange door with a weird ear on it. What do you decide to do?
Does the circlet see anything suspicious on the in the room? I'm gonna just keep asking circlet over and over again, but
Statue maybe.
I can't
Gotcha.
remember exactly, other than true seeing, what that thing does automatically. So you're gonna have to remind me if it does. Okay.
True seeing is the main thing.
True seeing is the thing I'm using. Yeah.
Okay. Then no.
Okay. We were talking a second ago. We're going on break about what the issue of the crystal ball, and I think the thing we don't know for certain, unless I've missed something, is right. Well, we know from Trefco now that like their fear of the light is beyond like superstition, right? There's like an actual discomfort to pain aspect. Clearly causes an enormous amount of panic.
Yeah, they're not going there.
They're not going there. Whether that panic, subsides or not is one thing. And whether they would risk it, in other words, for an extreme circumstance, I don't know. Obviously, the sun setting is a concern as well. But I'm very curious if the only reason the crystal ball was removed is because humans came and did it, or if it's something that apes did or have the notion to do themselves.
So
or did Gerlad do it so that the apes?
That's what I'm saying. I think probably a Gerlad did it, but
I'm going to remind you, because it's totally understandable that you forgot, because it was way back in the day when you first entered and you saw the well of light. When you came in the first time, there was a depression, like a concave depression in the middle of the floor that was completely covered with like muck and ape feces and ape fur and stuff like that. And then the pieces of the tripod that the disco ball would have to be mounted in were sort of scattered around haphazardly around it, and you had collected those together. That might give you a hint as to,
seems like it was the apes, not Gerlad. Then, yeah. Okay.
So if they
they
have a superstitious hatred of this thing and they had the opportunity, they would destroy it.
They would knock it out.
It makes sense.
So now we got to see if the litany will cast permanent light on this thing.
And whether it does that or not, I'm just so curious to see what it does. I think we should.
Yeah. Let's go do it.
If we go check out the one that's in the northeastern corner, since we know the one in the southeastern corner is the third, if we get the number of the second one, if that one in the northeastern, then we'll know which order it goes in.
Yeah, agree.
Okay, so you're going to go to the northwestern, the northeastern corridor?
Cool. I'm for that. Yeah. Good.
Okay, cool. Okay. So another turn passes. By the time you sort of get to that station, I'm going to say, David, you are very lucky that it is exactly symmetrical. But at that point, the Elizabeth's torch goes out. But everything is brightly lit.
Just light another one
right now.
We're good.
Okay.
I mean, it's good to have one just, in case.
So you are lighting another torch? Sorry.
No, we'll not. It's fine.
Save it for now. Okay.
Right.
Okay, yeah. So everything's brightly lit. When you look into that northeastern corridor, let me just make sure I'm saying the right one here. Got it. Okay. So 2 stone benches, circle of yellow marble on the floor. Here, okay, but the difference here is that you see that the hold on a second. He's referring me to another thing here. There are robed figures here on the wall. They are facing the viewer, basking with smiling faces in rays of yellow light that extend from the from an orb, or like a yellow orb on the wall, which now appears to be an eye of an enormous ibis. Okay, but it's just the eye, right? There's not so the one that you just saw was like a complete ibis. This just seems to be an eye. The background is bright yellow here, and there is a let's see, there is an inscription that says, "The light of truth is received by the faithful." Okay.
Let's see.
It's the first step. So this is step 1. The upper right. Let the faithful acknowledge the darkness and invoke the light of truth is the first step of the invocation.
So that's
so one, and this is so there. I don't think it's clockwise, counterclockwise. I think we have to pattern it correctly. So that would be 1. You said the bottom right is 3.
Yeah.
So then, we'll have to check the others.
Yeah, let's just go. If we just check the one to the northwest, then we'll know all 3 of them.
Yeah.
So let's walk over there.
While we are While we are crossing the northern threshold, I just want to peek north and see if we see any activity or anything like that, John. Just because we're there.
No, but you still see that same. Okay, when you going to the north, and looking down, you can see the Hall of Judgment right ahead of you is brightly lit through there. Now you're not getting the full view of it, but you still see that huge form that's sort of draped across the throne. I'm still not going to give you too much detail on it because you're not moving into the room, but there's definitely some massive form that's been draped across the ruby throne. It certainly
told us that already. You told us that was Trefco.
It looks to be Cisco. Yeah, you haven't walked in there, but there were also numerous. There's blood all over the ground, and there were numerous baboon corpses as well. The difference that you see when you look down that corridor, Upior, this time is that some of those corpses are starting to move.
Oh crap!
I forgot about the fucking mummy rock.
Oh
man!
Is the big one moving, John? Is
the big one moving? Now, interestingly enough, the big one is not moving. And to be clear, it's not like any of these corpses, the regular baboon corpses, are walking around. It's just like they're starting to animate, right? That sort of thing. They're in their first stages.
Okay,
we gotta take care of them, right?
We got to throw them in the pits. Let's just push them into the pits before they're fully mobile.
Okay.
You know,
how many of them are in there, John? Is that realistic?
Let's run up and take a look.
In your field of vision, you can see at least 8 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have the net won't be that much more useful than just.
We have the strongest old man in the world.
We got Sam. We got a lot of strength here. We got a muscle mage, Sam, and grandpa farmer here. You know.
Yeah.
I think we got
John, we're gonna throw them all in the pit. It's a great idea, David.
Well, as we go to the north, look a quick look to the right. That little inset room to the east. Do we see anything or hear anything in there, John?
Okay. Well, first, in that one, no, nothing seems to be untoward there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let's go up to the entrance and take a look at the soon-to-be mummy.
It takes a turn to get into the Hall of Judgment. Opens it up. Okay. First of all, the rugs that were sort of concealing those pits are gone, so the pits are open.
Okay.
Handy. Like a couple of baboon corpses are kind of half draped over those, that sort of thing. You can indeed see that the form that is sprawled across the ruby throne, you can confirm, is the one and only Cisco, the meanest, baddest four-armed baboon. And for whatever reason, it is not twitching. The other ones are. There appears to be blood all over Cisco, but from this distance, without getting right to the ruby throne, you can't quite tell what the source of that blood is, like what caused the death. The pole, the punishment pole that sort of blocks your view to the ruby throne, doesn't have a prisoner in it, but what it does have is chained, like, in the remnants of the chains that are there, is a goat head which has been viciously ripped from its body, and the body is sort of lying on the ground, and the headless body is no longer, like, it's not actively leaking blood. You know what I mean? Like, it looks like it's been there for quite some time. Okay. And the goat head is just sort of dangling from the pole. It looks to have numerous ravenous bite wounds all over it. There was never marked on the map itself, but there are numerous columns here actually that kind of lead like a nave right towards that punishment pole from where you're standing. There are numerous mirrors. There are 4 mirrors in the room. Actually, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mirrors in the room. It doesn't really matter where they are, but the entire room is basically lit as well. Okay. So yeah, if you rush and kind of move in here quickly, you can toss the bodies into the pit if you like.
Are both of the pits on fire, John, or was just one of them flaming?
We set that pit on fire. It's probably not still on fire. There was like a giant shit monster down there, and we doused it in oil, and then we set it on fire.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for clearing that up, Mike. Because I was like, when you said that, I was like, I read in the description, I'm like, I don't know how they got fire out of that. But that's exactly what it was.
That was one of our great plans.
That worked great. That was awesome. And that's where that crazy dwarf Guelph ended up. Remember? Yeah.
Yeah, we should probably check the prison too, guys, and make sure that we get any prisoners out before we leave. You know.
Okay, well, Wolford's going to go around with the Black Iron Spear and use it like a guy on the side of the New Jersey Turnpike, doing community service, and just like skewer the baboons and shove them off with his foot into the pit.
Okay, cool. All right. So you address the threat. So you end them, all of them, before they can fully animate. A couple of them sort of like grasp at you weakly, as if they were sort of gaining strength, but then they quickly expire.
Okay.
I'll put that away.
John, circlet, secret doors, any in here?
Secret doors, no, not in this room. But as far as normal doors go, just so you're aware, the northwestern, like there's two doors on the northern end. The western one is open.
Cool. All right. Well, the immediate zombie threat is handled. We don't know whether it'll affect Cisco at some point eventually, so we might want to throw Cisco down there too.
Yeah.
Well, do we want to inspect the corpse a little more thoroughly before we do so?
I do. I definitely do, and maybe even take his head, because damn, Trefko would love that.
Okay. I'm going to say that if you want to be thorough about the zombies, the potential zombies, it's going to take 2 turns.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it fair to say that while they're pushing the zombies in the pit, I'm inspecting Cisco's body?
Yeah, we can call
As a
that
combined effort.
I'll buy that.
You know what?
That puts you squarely at 4 p.m.
Who should we send? Like, I don't know if it takes all of us, John, to search for to deal with the zombies, or if we can spare 2 people to go look in the prison wing.
That's
Sam,
fine.
Maybe
you can do that simultaneously as well. So I'll just clear it up for you real quick. You go into the prison wing, and they all appear to be empty.
Okay.
It does look like there was probably people like there at one point since you've been there, but they are empty. There's no secret in the prison chambers.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Matt.
Whoever we send in there, will also tell them to check Niall's old room, because that's where they kept all the prisoners' stuff.
Yeah,
sure.
Might be a few things down there.
Yeah, and they wouldn't have been able to look for secret doors. My bad. I forgot I was doing something. So.
Okay. Actually, give me 1 second. We're having a technical thing. I'll be right back. Okay, back again. Sorry about that. Okay, so sorry. Tell me what you're doing.
Oh, we were just having one of the people who went in to check the prisoners. Maybe it was Sam, I guess. Check Niall's old room, because we know that's where they kept prisoners' stuff. Maybe there's some good stuff down there.
No, nothing interesting in there.
Dang it! All right.
Okay. At the same time, Upior's checking Cisco's corpse, right?
Yes.
Okay. Upior, as a man of high education and has plumbed the forbidden depths of magic, forbidden knowledge, you can tell that Cisco did not die from mummy rot. Okay, which aligns with the fact that he didn't. But what's interesting is that he, first of all, that Cisco is one hell of an opponent, for one thing. But so yeah, it doesn't look like he died from like the rending wounds that Nefret can do with her hands. However, there are numerous points on his torso. Pretty much that's where you can kind of see like where all of the damage was done, where it looks like there are open gaping wounds that actually emerged from inside. All right. So it's not like there was like a blade cut or a claw cut or teeth or anything like that, like an external force. It looks like something erupted or was cut from inside out on his chest.
Cool.
In about 3 or 4 places. One looks particularly large, and is sort of like directly in the middle of his chest, like blew out his sternum sort of thing. You know what I mean? If you picture the way that Jesse Ventura died in Predator, it's like that. You know what I mean? Like really nasty. And he obviously died from if that one didn't do it, it was from obvious like massive internal blood loss.
We have xenomorphs now too.
Yeah.
This is
and
what
it looks
you're
like,
telling me.
Judging by like the snarl on Cisco's face, like he went down fighting. And did not go gently into that good night.
What does that?
Now you remember it. So he's on the ruby throne. So I think this is a good opportunity for me to sort of address that again, because this has been an object of your desire forever. And here it is in front of you. And this is kind of like the first time you've been able to sort of really look at it in peace, right? There's always been something going on in this room, right? Now, don't forget the last time you were here, you did that really cool thing where you were able to snag the a lot of those coins that were hidden behind the throne. But remember, you weren't able to grab them all. And you still have not looked behind that throne since you're here now. So just be aware. The chair itself is made out of it appears to be made out of like a crystalline form. To your blind eye, it looks like it's made out of ruby because that crystal is red colored. Now you can't really verify that because you've never seen like a ruby that large that's cut into the shape of a chair. Like, it's ridiculous, right? But just to be clear. And it is all, however stupendous it seems, it actually seems to be one large cut gem. It does not appear to be assembled in any sort of way. So now, Upior, since you're the one looking at it and you're the most versed in the esoteric, it looks like completely and utterly impossible. Like, you cannot understand how this thing can possibly exist. And it's obviously magical in nature of some sort, or some magical thing that formed it, but it would be like the highest forms of magic, like ineffable forms of magic that could produce something of this nature. So just be aware. The iron circlet is not pinging illusion. It does not appear to be any sort of deception on the throne at all either. Okay.
Okay. Well, couple things. We should definitely look behind the throne, but why don't we get Cisco's body off of it? Mike mentioned taking his head for as proof to somebody. It might be worth it. I don't know. It's up to you guys, but I think
Mike.
maybe toss his body, head or not, into the pit as well, just for cleanliness sake. But
yeah, I'm going to take his head.
Okay.
How big is his head? How many slots is his head, John?
His slot is 1.
Okay.
So
I will do that.
Yeah, just one word of Upio. If you're looking to sit on that chair, it looks like it didn't agree with the last person who sat there. I'm just throwing that out there.
Oh, I know. You're right in my mind there. Prior to sitting in it, precisely, I wanted to look around and see what's behind it. And look for any. Sorry, I got a little bit of a cold.
Okay, so you look behind the throne. Give me 1 second. So you remember last time you were there that you had to leave some behind. You just couldn't carry it or collect it fast enough. There are no more coins behind the throne. However, remember, like, it was weird because they were just coins like just heaped behind it, like obviously hidden, like out of clear view because it's right against that top wall. But they weren't like collected in any sort of way in pouches or chests or anything like that, right? They were just loose. All of those are gone. They were on the floor, but where they were has suddenly revealed what you were not able to see before because they were covered with coins. Is actually an inscription in Mithric in the floor.
Oh, well, there you go. What does it say, John?
Okay. It says, let's see. As I completely blank on what that says. Give me a second. Where is it? Gosh darn it. Give me 1 second. Oh, there it is. Okay. In Mithric, yeah. It says, speak the secret name and claim thy reward.
We know so many secret names for Thoth, don't we?
We do know some secret names, but and how do we know it's Thoth? It probably could be Thoth. I don't know. Maybe it's Thoth. Thoth is guy's secret names. Don't know. Yeah, we know 4 of the 7 secret names.
Maybe there's a different reward for each one. Matt, just say one, or I'll do it.
Okay. Well, we got I've got them. So we'll to speak them out. Did it say to sit? What did it say again, John?
Speak the secret name and claim thy reward.
Okay. So he'll say, well, shit. Thoth is the font of magic, the giver of words, thrice-born linguist, the light of comprehension.
And you're just standing. Where are you? Like, what are you doing?
He's standing. I guess where you could see that inscription. So we'd say
so behind the throne. You're standing behind the throne and saying it.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. We have to break out a second. One more time. Sorry. Give me one moment. Okay, we are back again. Yeah. So you were standing behind the throne, Wolford, and saying that nothing occurs.
Okay. Well, shit. He'll walk around to the front and repeat it again. Font of magic, giver of words, thrice-born linguist, light of comprehension.
Nothing happens, but you are staring at the open seat of the ruby throne, and you can
gonna burst out.
You can see that the dread sort of fills you as the recently vacated seat indicates the stains of blood that have seeped into it, perfectly meshing with the color of the throne itself.
So, John, on that topic, it seemed as though the damage kind of burst out from within Trefco. Is there like a velocity, like a splatter pattern? Does it like fan forward from the chair?
No, it appears like the blood that's on the chair just seems to have seeped from those wounds.
Okay.
Yeah, like natural. You know what I mean? Just sort of like, from where he expired.
All right. So the gamble is if it wants to hear one of the three names that we don't know.
You might need to sit in the chair, Matt.
Oh, for sure. It's just sit in the chair, say those names. If it's not one of those, but you know what? You got to drive it like you stole it. You got to drive it like you stole it, right?
I'll do it.
It's up to you, baby.
I'll sit in the chair.
Okay, get the monkey off. Get the monkey off.
The monkey's already off. The monkey's already off. That's why I was saying about the bloodstains. Yeah.
All right. Well, I came here to do one thing, and that's get rich or die trying. This seems like a good test of that. Nice working with you all. Oh, he's gonna sit on the chair, and he's gonna say the names again.
Okay, so when you sit upon the chair, you expect to feel something. All you feel is Cisco's blood sort of seeping into your pants.
Okay, that's gross.
But you utter some of the secret names of Thoth, and nothing happens. The throne is extremely hard and uncomfortable.
All right.
Well,
that didn't do it. I guess it's not these. He'll get up and get off the chair.
Okay.
Why don't we try to do the litany and light and hear if we maybe we get a name out of it? Some effect occurs. I don't know. That's something we got to come back to.
I'm gonna say a turn for that experimentation.
Okay, that was worth it.
410 now. 410.
Oh man, we got to hurry.
You also have 15 minutes in the real world before this session ends.
Okay, let's go do it. We took care of the zombies. We got to go do it, guys.
John, what time is the sunset these days?
We'll say 7.
Okay. So we book it back down to number 12, John. The what's that? The northwestern one to see which one that is.
Very good indeed. All right. So let's get a reminder of what that bad boy says. Okay. Same similar setup. This is so you've got the wall shows rows of robed figures raising their hands toward a yellow globe from which no rays extend. The figures are superimposed on a dark background that makes them look as if they are floating in a void. And across the top of the image in Mithric, it says, "Let the faithful acknowledge the darkness and invoke the light of truth."
So that's the second phase.
That's the first one, right?
Wait.
Yeah, that's number one.
Acknowledge the darkness and invoke the light of truth.
Northeast.
That says the second section is called the reception of the light. In it, people say, "Let the faith acknowledge the darkness and invoke the light of truth." Oh, it says it for both. Wait, I was skimming. It says that on the first and the second.
Yep.
Literally.
Acknowledge
So
the
is that a
darkness.
typo?
And invoke
That's
the
true.
light of
Yep,
truth.
yep. You're right. You're right.
Acknowledge the darkness and invoke the light of truth. Huh.
Is that a wait? And it says, "Let thought illuminate my ignorance" on both. Okay, I gotta read through it deeply again. Sorry.
Oh, you know what? I think that is actually a typo from the thing.
It does
think
look
it's
like
a
a typo
typo.
because it's
Yeah.
exactly the same thing.
Okay, so I'll just tell you. So what the first one is on the Litany of Light does match this as the first station. Okay,
In the Northwest is the first.
where you are right now is the first, and it says what that says right there. It is the invocation of light.
Okay.
All right, let's do this thing. Come on.
Wait. Well, we don't know if Southwest is number 2 or if Northeast is number. Is Northeast number 2 then, John? So that was the correct one.
No,
So it's clockwise, I think. Yeah.
so it goes. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So let me just double check. So I didn't realize there was actually a typo there. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So it goes clockwise. Correct. Clockwise.
Okay.
Starting where you are now.
Let's do
Okay.
it.
So the first one, we check our notes. We have to chant. Oh wait, that's the one where the typo is. So what
No,
are we
the
supposed to?
first one is good. The first one is
Good.
legit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we check the notes that we wrote when we looked through the book explaining the Litany of Light, and we have to chant, "Let the faithful acknowledge the darkness and invoke the light of truth."
Where do you chant it?
I think we got to go in there, and can we mimic the positions of the guys that we see?
It says in a round style chant.
I think you guys, whoever is doing that part of it, the part of the celebrant, has to stand in the yellow circle while the rest of us sit in the pews.
Well, it says a round style chant. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. And if John, what are the figures doing in the mural here?
Here they are raising their hands toward a yellow globe from which there are no rays, so it's just like a yellow circle. But the figures are imposed on a dark background that makes them look as if they're floating in a void, like they're in the night sky, almost, sort of thing.
Okay, so I guess we encircle the yellow thing on
I
the
think,
floor, hold our hands in a similar position.
Yeah.
We all chant this.
Yeah.
So you're not stepping into the circle. Is that correct?
If the figures aren't in the
I'll do
circle,
it. I will do it, Matt. I'm not. I'm going to drive it like I stole it. I think whoever is the celebrant has to be in the circle. So, and then everyone else has to be sitting in the pews paying attention. You guys never been to church school? Come on.
we got to do what they're doing, and we got to say it around, right?
It's not that. It specifies that it's a round style chant,
I
which
think a round
confuses the.
David, isn't that just basically questioning, like chanting and answering? Like that seems more like a musical round, right? Than sitting in a circle.
It's like row, row, row your boat, right?
Yeah, that's a round.
I see. Oh, that's confusing. Okay, yeah. I guess it's not a visual description. It's it's
chants where they're like overlapping each other and repeating the phrases and like like all the rest of that.
Okay, I guess that's what we'll do then. I don't know. Yeah, I'll trust you.
Yeah,
I'll go in the circle. I'll go in the circle because hilarious deaths are kind of my forte, and I will do the part of the celebrant.
And so we'll circle it, and we'll do that chant in a round.
Okay. So what do you say, Breggy?
Well, now I'm confused because, like you said, there's a typo, right? So should
There is no typo in the first thing.
Yeah. So the round that we do is we do "Let the faithful acknowledge the darkness and invoke the light of truth," and we start that and we go around in a
And then Mike says,
and then I will say, "Let thoth illuminate my ignorance," and the invocation is meant to beseech. So you guys are chanting,
yeah,
and then the celebrant is declaring.
Okay, cool. So you do that, and when you say that, Breggy, when you say, "Let thoth illuminate my ignorance," a column of light, a couple of things happen. A column of light surrounds you, Breggy, that basically circumscribes that exact yellow stone circle that you're in, right? So you're kind of encased in this column that basically aligns with that circle, all right? And there is a moment where like you kind of blink your eyes and then you kind of open them up again. And unfortunately, nothing bad happens, but it's just unfortunate that you, the dwarf, are the one that did this because you can kind of feel that you were imbued with the power that you already have, which is infravision.
Oh no!
Oh, okay. So you're kind of granted that, like you're the ability, like the invocation of light has given you the ability to see beyond the normal light spectrum, right? But more importantly, that's a kind of anticlimactic for you, Breggy. You hear back, and it's very audible. Like you can hear from back in the well of light itself. You hear a hum start, like a low, vibrating hum that sort of that you can kind of feel like your bones sort of quivering a little bit, and you can tell that it is definitely coming from the well of light.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
We're
Let's
going to go to
over-
the next station of the cross.
Yeah, northeast.
Okay.
Two. And so
North.
this is where we have the typo.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Okay. So here, it is actually the reception of light. That is the title of the station. Okay. What you have here is you have the similar figures, but this time they're basking with smiling faces, and the yellow orb is actually emitting rays of light. And the background is now bright yellow instead of void. So like the light is actually present, right? And now you're receiving that light. All right. So the typo is there, so I don't know exactly what the people were supposed to do exactly, like the method in which they were doing it. But you have the inscription. The actual inscription in Mithric is the light of truth is received by the faithful. And what the cantor is supposed to say in response is Thoth's light reveals all secrets. That's what should have been written in the Litany of Light. So I'm just kind of giving to you that straight up.
Okay. So can we just say that we say those things?
You can. Who's stepping in the circle?
I will do it again.
Okay. I'm going to say each one of these things takes a turn.
Okay.
Breggy, you're standing in the circle?
Yo.
Is everyone else okay with Breggy getting all the shit?
Let's take turn, Mike. Let's spread it around. Let's spread it around. I don't think it's
wait. Speaking of, do we think this is a permanent blessing? In which case, one of us could have permanently gotten infravision and was wasted on Mike.
Yeah. Yeah. Mike,
How many times can we do the invocation?
I mean, yeah, Matt, why don't we spread it around? I didn't get anything useful last time. So yeah, by all means.
I'll explode.
Who's in the circle?
I'm in the circle, John.
Okay.
We'll do this one.
Okay,
no,
so
I'm in the circle. I didn't get anything cool last time, Matt. You're muted, David.
I said, yeah, but you burnt it for us, so you got to be punished.
All right, whatever.
There are three left. We each get one. Okay.
There you go.
Go, Dwarfy.
Right,
As long as Ted doesn't get anything, I'm happy.
I'm going to do this one. I'm doing this one.
okay.
I say the thing, John.
Okay, so you say Thoth's light reveals all secrets. The column of you are also surrounded by a column of yellow light. The same thing happens. The hum from the well of light increases a lot. So it's like a real, like almost a machine-like hum. Okay. The daylight that's surrounding everything flickers a little bit, almost like a light bulb starting to go out. Okay. However, you are imbued as Thoth's light reveals all secrets. Your intuition, your ability to grasp things increases manifold as you gain 2 extra points of wisdom for an indeterminate amount of time.
Nice. I got rid of my wisdom penalty for a little while.
Do we, just real quick, do we have any concern that the final outcome of this will be to destroy the disco ball because we used the sun charge and forever spent this on imbuing someone with power? In which case, should we not? Or I don't know.
We got to do it, man. We got to do it. There's only one way to find
I
out.
thought about that, David, because the last room is like darkness returns or whatever. What if it turns out the monkey, like the monkey resistor?
And then we have an army of monkeys on our ass.
Okay, we only have about 5 minutes left to go. Do you want to try the third station?
David, we're
Go to
committed.
three. Go to three.
Dude.
Okay, so
Me
you
on
go.
three? Okay, sure.
You go to the third station. So the third station, you have the same robe figures here are genuflecting. So some of them are prostrate, some of them are kneeling, right? And now they're in front of an enormous full ibis. Remember in the previous one, it was like a yellow orb, but that orb looked like an ibis eye. Now it's like a full ibis. They are displaying reverence towards the rays that the ibis is emitting, and the background here is silver. So it went from sort of like void of nothingness, right, to an actual in full force, and then now the background here is silver. This is the glorification of light. And you have across the top, let the faithful render honor and glory to the light which reveals all.
All right, you can do this one.
We
I
all
respond,
say
glory.
that.
Yeah, and I'll say all glory to the light of knowledge.
And you're
Shouting
standing in this. You're standing in the center, right, Upior?
I'm standing in the center. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You are surrounded by the column of light. This is kind of ironic, but of all the people to stand in the center is the one wearing the iron circlet of Gonor. But you can sense. I'm just going to tell you. You can sense that you would have been granted true seeing.
Cool.
Which you
We
already
wasted the whole thing.
The hum.
My God, this is wild.
the hum increases again. The flickering is rapid. Now it's at a rapid pace, like it's like at a regular interval, and it's just sort of like snappy. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like a zoetrope sort of thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's right. I use zoetrope.
I'm beginning to. Is this a?
You have one last section. It's called the concealing of light. Now, as you sort of are pondering that, and you step back from the yellow circle, Upior,
Yeah.
you hear a really heavy chunk, of a mechanism, like locking into place, and the hum immediately shuts off, and the light is now like steady, like we're like really steady, like the way it was. Okay. Once again, you're kind of hearing that, right, from the well of light, but you haven't actually seen the well of light from when you're doing this.
Well, when we go across to the final station, we should look north and just see,
Right.
what we see. Yeah. So maybe we just stop there at that juncture.
Pause there, at the bottom, and look up.
Okay, so when you look up, you can see that so we always call it the disco ball, but it's not really a disco ball. What it is a lens, right? So it's sort of like convex on both sides, but it's sort of like a soft, you know what I mean? Like, like a lens, right? So it's very, very thin, but circular, right? And it's mounted on from the tripod into like a circular mount, right? Above the convex mirror that you scraped away the muck from, right? There's a mirror in the ground, right? And that focuses the light into that mirror and then refracts it everywhere, right? You understand how it works? So that's what the disco ball looks like. So that the disco ball, or the lens is sort of hovering in the air in that tripod, and you can see that it is quivering, like it's making the tripod actually like move a little bit. You know what I mean? It's like really like it's like humming with life. You know what I mean? That sort of thing.
Okay. Scary.
All right. I think we still got to do it, guys. We got to see what happens.
All right. We'll go. Let's finish it.
So before we do this last one, John, Wolford's gonna take from Lisbeth a holy symbol of Thoth to make sure he has one on him before we do this last bit.
So you're holding a symbol of Thoth in your hand?
A holy symbol of Thoth, yeah.
Okay, cool. So in the last chamber, this is the southwest chamber, the concealing of light. You have this is another one that you haven't seen for a long time. Same sort of setup with the yellow marble circle and two stone benches. On the northeast wall is completely black, save for a yellow orb which no rays emerge. So there's no people. There's no like indication that it's a night sky. It's just black. And there's just like a pale yellow orb in the center. Okay. And across the top, the other thing that's on the black wall is Mithric, and it says the light must be guarded against the impious.
Pertinent word.
I'm pretty fucking pious, if you ask me. All right. So Yeah, if everybody chants in hushed voices, the light must be guarded against the impious. Wolford will step onto the circle, holding the holy symbol, and in his head, before he says anything out loud, he says, "Lord, I've never really prayed to anybody before, but I'm willing to give it a shot. Please don't kill me. I'll help you out if I can." And he'll say, "Thoughts, truths are for thoughts, children."
Okay.
Wouldn't it be hilarious, David, if we kind of did like that Evil Dead thing and we were like, come.
Well, part of me also, I know, part of me also wonders if we shouldn't have put Trefco in these orange circles, but I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. You're killing the pacing here because Matt just said the words.
Sorry.
So Matt speaks the words. You were surrounded by a couple things happen simultaneously. First of all, the column of light illuminates you, but that column of light stands out because everything else goes dark. Just
Great.
It just and it's not even, you don't hear like a power down or anything like that. It's just like everything just like winks out. The column of light. The only thing that you're seeing right now is the column of light that's illuminating Wolford as he kind of looks out around with wide eyes, and immediately you can hear the chattering of baboons off in the distance from the east. Right, like as they start to get ratchet up, that sort of thing, and for a split second you see Wolford in that column of light, and then Wolford disappears. But Wolford, you can still see everybody.
Oh, he's invisible.
Oh.
And we will end it there as the baboons can be heard in the distance and darkness descends.
Awesome.
Good times.
All right. Cool. Epic. So you perform the litany of light. I don't know what kind of conclusions you're going to draw, but maybe we could talk about it at the detox. Okay, cool. Great session, guys. Thank you for watching, everybody, and or listening. You've been watching or listening to 3D6 Down the Line. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have the wherewithal, please sign up for the Patreon and get a few bennies. Join our public Discord where there's always lots of great conversation going on. And check out our publication, Feats of Exploration, which will help any OSR game help your lower level characters ratchet through the levels as long as they're paired with a bunch of high level dudes. You'll be good. Anyways. I think that'll do it. Thank you so much to all of our Patreon members, our explorers, delvers, and our conquerors. Matt, take it away with the conquerors.
Yes, a big thank to you all. And I'd like to welcome a new conqueror to the group, Kayla Ripley Wolf. Welcome, and thank you for your support. I'd also like to thank, as always, our other conquerors, Zachary Hall, Saps, Papa Bear, Zach Shiflett, Familia Morando, Mercury 605, Ruben D. Collar, Dave Rosser Jr., Andrew, Dakota Nielsen, Cam, Stephen Kessenberry, Brad and Aiden, the Logan family, Kabrowskis, Chad Cartier, Magic Meat Machine, Tom Leary, Phil, Jeff Takax, G Tokyo Time, Terry Barney, Eric Lawson, Mando NZ, Faisal, James Dewig, Nefarious Gamer, Grunt, Andrew Schroker, MM, Michael Schilling, Stefano Di Maiolo, Ash Gabriel, the Hex Brawler Twins, Summon Toast, Adam the DM, Scott Yearsley, Mech Jack, Kick Maniac, Dyer Grew, Tom Eric Gerritsen, not Matt but not least, and here come my Matts, Matt Mason, Matt Gardner, Matt Koenig, and Matt Young. Thank you all so very much.
Yep. Thank you, everybody. We really do appreciate it. Everyone have a great week, and we will see you next time. Take care. Bye.
See you. Thanks, John.
Later. Thanks, John.